Hi, and welcome to this week's episode. Man, we're too old for this. I am your host, the Todd Father, and joining me as always,
CDL 113.
The experience that some call Jason.
Token unprepared to talk about comics, Tarky.
Ha! Because that's what we're talking about today, comics. We're doing some real nerd shit. In other words, scads of what ifery.
In a world where two comic companies that have run off multitudes of their fans come together for one big disappointment.
Hey man,
It hadn't happened yet,
it's probably going to be a disappointment.
but it hadn't happened yet.
That's right, we're talking about the upcoming Secret Crisis. Because, why the hell not?
Because the words crisis and secret are the only way they know how to...
Well, that's the trick. Marvel, keeps retreading Secret Wars twice. And, DC can't have a crossover in a crisis. It's always a crisis.
Yeah. Since at least the 80s?
Yes, it's Crisis on Infinite Earths.
No, that wasn't the first one.
It isn't?
You had Crisis on Earths 1 and 2.
Oh, yeah, you did. Yeah.
Now, whether that was its own miniseries or just the storyline...
That had to have just been the storyline, because, mini-wise, you didn't have the Maxi series yet.
Oh, yeah, well, it wasn't something that long anyway. It was like 2 or 3 issues, I think, of whatever it was in.
But, DC kind of likes... It's Crisis. This one, nobody knows about it.
Yet.
No! For Secret Crisis, you can't know about it ever.
Well, I mean, people can learn secrets.
But then it's not a Secret Crisis. It is a known Secret Crisis. It's known.
Well, it was a secret crisis because it was secret at the time that it happened. Then it became public knowledge later. Anyway.
I don't know.
You know what I want out of this?
What?
I want it to be narrated in the past tense. It's like somebody's talking about it after it's happened.
Mm-hmm.
And it's Kane from the old, oh no, it would have to be Abel. Because Kane had the House of Mysteries, Abel had the House of Secrets.
That would be neat.
Yeah.
They will never fucking do that.
No.
Hey, he's doing it from the House of Secrets. It's Secret Crisis. But anyway, they have started to lay the groundwork for another Marvel DC crossover. Which is a little different than the last time, because this one's going to be canon.
The last one was canon at the time. You had the little references to it afterwards.
But you had no build-up before.
No. This one may be what the original was meant to be, where it just crosses over in the main issues.
Yeah.
The previous one we're referring to is the Justice League Avengers crossover.
Yeah, JLA Avengers.
That ended up being a mini-series, but was originally supposed to just be 2 issues of Avengers and 2 issues of Justice League.
Yep.
And it was like the reprinting rights they couldn't quite get sorted or something.
Mm-hmm. Which, I wonder what the hell they're going to do with this one. Truthfully.
Because
And truthfully, the old one, that one is still canon. Just recently, they referenced Wonder Woman and Wonder Woman would be going all the way back to Marvel DC versus DC. Where they referenced Superman and Wonder Woman having held Thor's hammer.
Yeah, sure.
The trick is, 5 years from now, DC will have rebooted their universe.
And that's what I was getting ready to say, because the JLA Avengers happened 2 universes ago for DC. Because that was the post-crisis universe that they popped up.
Well, I'm just saying it was still it was not the old Spider-Man versus Superman or Batman versus the Hulk.
Yeah.
Where there was no explanation and they just nothing ever referenced it because it wasn't canon.
But the trick is, this is the first one that I've ever seen that had build-up.
Yeah, they're doing a neat job on that from what I've seen.
on DA, where I follow a lot of different artists, and they post their raw work, you've had some folks on that going, are they going to do a crossover? But there's nothing, it's just, panels. But if
you really did.
That's all
There have been
right
some vague rumors that they might be going to do a crossover. And I guess everybody just kind of assumed miniseries. And then you had those 2 pages pop up in Thor, and those 2 pages pop up in Justice League. No, or it was Justice League or the Doomsday Clock.
Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock has mentioned it. Justice League, I think it's 39, has mentioned it. Thor issue number 2 is mentioned.
Yeah.
You've also had the writers of both books on Twitter kind of going, you know, we may do something. I know DC, the writer for Justice League, did a tweet that basically said Thor is, and that was, you know, that's a reference to Darkseid. Darkseid's kind of
Is.
tagline right now is Darkseid is.
Well, the panel references I saw in DA, when one of the guys asked the artist, "Is there going to be a crossover?" "Oh, I'm just doing some freelance work," was how he phrased it.
Yeah.
Because it's
Well,
like,
they've done a decent job of keeping it under their hat
yeah,
until the actual reveal, you know,
Which is-
the
which
actual
is-
build-up started.
Which is nice,
Mhm.
especially in this information age where
Yeah.
normally everything floods out. You know when it's coming out, who's going to be in it, who's writing it, who's drawing it, what it's going to be about.
and how it ends.
Well, it's going to be crap on it. But
Oh, I don't expect it to be near as good
Like-
as Justice League Avengers.
likely with DC getting the new universe because it's DC and it's been
Yeah,
a couple of days.
Yeah, it's been a few years. Yeah.
It's been a couple of days. I have a new universe. But, you know, I will give it this. It's the first thing I've seen announced, halfway announced in a comic book in years that actually made me pay any attention to it.
Yeah, I wasn't reading either the Thor or the Doomsday Clock stuff, and when you sent me the link, "Hey, go look at this," I was sitting there and I was like, "Okay." Ooh, you know, and in my head I was sitting there looking at back some of the panel work, you know, with no writing in it, but caption work. And one of the panels they had where in Thor you have the people streaking, and
streaks.
it's Superman, Flash, and Green Lantern.
And Batman.
There's a little black mark
Yeah,
in the
there's-
darkness.
Yeah.
That's
But you know,
Batman.
you see the streaks, and they weren't colored in. It was just the panel work. I'm like, oh man, I remember seeing that. You know,
Yeah.
several weeks or a month or so ago. But you know, there was no context to it because the boxes had not been added or word balloons, and it was like, okay, that makes a little more sense.
And in that shot, you see the bottom of the Daily Planet's globe.
But you know, see, that didn't even affect me because every now and then, like in a Spider-Man book, if you look back, there'll be a little corner of a globe somewhere because they, you know,
They've done those as
Yeah, they do
throwaway
look Easter
jokes
eggs.
before.
Yeah. and so
It's
you
the
know,
fact that these are kind of syncing up and using similar phrasing and stuff. You know,
yeah, that,
they're doing a neat job on this. You know, I don't trust either company for their follow through.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't.
that's the problem.
When I say that, I don't trust the writers worth a damn. Though the guy that's writing Thor right now, it's not horrible. Well, it's a better story to go along with basically fixing Thor from Aaron's run. Because when they made him a Herald of Galactus, yeah, when I saw that splash page, I was like, oh, that's how they managed to fix his eye and his arm. Thank God. Because I was sick of one-eyed, one-armed Thor.
If I wanted to read about your dad, I'd read about your dad, Thor. Get your body back together.
Talking about
Get your shit together.
talking about one of those little throwaways. In researching this, one of the videos I watched brought up Marvel Zombies. And if you remember the original Marvel Zombies, you know, Sentry had punched his way, a contaminated Sentry had punched his way into that world.
Yeah.
Originally, it was going to be a guy in a blue outfit and a red cape, and DC went, no, it's too similar. So they switched over to Sentry,
Nice.
which would have been one of those nice little throwaway jokes. But
well, some of the best throwaway jokes to the Marvel DC stuff is, you know, like said in New York, where you have somebody bump into Clark Kent and Lois Lane is standing there, and she's like, "You okay?" "Yeah, I'm." You know, it's either Clark or Kent, just one name where it's not like a copyright infringement.
Yeah.
And you see that every now and then. That's like, what DC book was it? You had a guy walking by in a trench coat, and you couldn't see his face, but you could see his face in the reflection, and it was Castle. It had, you know, the only one person it could be the way, because of the color of the stuff underneath the jacket. And it was like, oh, that was nice looking. And then you never see any words written about it. It's just him walking
in
by.
the old days, you would have that sometimes, and it would be accidental. There was some guy that I think he had drawn. It might have been Jack Kirby, but I can't swear to exactly which artist it was. But he'd been doing Fantastic Four for a while. Went off and did a DC book, and he had a crowd shot. And somebody in the letters pages later was asking him, "Did you mean to put Reed Richards in the crowd shot? Because that's totally Reed Richards." He's like, "Yeah, there's only so many faces you can draw, you know."
Well, you know, Walt Simonson in his Thor run, once Thor had given up his Donald Blake persona to Bill, or I had to take it, you have him on the helicarrier, and he bumps into Clark Kent.
Oh, I've seen that one. Yeah.
Yeah, because This is where Thor starts wearing glasses. Clark's there. Lois is there. Yeah, he bumps into him. He falls. It's obviously Superman standing there, and they're screwing around with glasses. So them doing that kind of stuff, it's cool.
That's always been in jokes because so many of the artists and writers jump from company to company.
Yeah.
That's one thing that made the old Justice League Avengers crossover so good was the writer and the artist. Both of them had runs on Avengers and Justice League. They had a love for both sets of characters, and that kind of showed through.
When Todd first sent me the thing about doing this, I was like, oh God, that makes the stuff that's been going on last year in the stuff on WB and or CW, excuse me, on the shows, the live action shows. You had especially like Cisco dropping, who you think you are, the Hulk? Who do you, and he was using a bunch of Marvel references, and I'm sitting there going, how are they not getting in trouble for this? But it was popping up on each thing, and I'm like,
Well, they probably need to get along to survive.
Yeah. Well, researching one of the videos I watched, the guy was talking about, they're going to do a movie of this, that, the other. And he kept talking about Warner Brothers and Disney. And I don't think Warner Brothers or Disney is involved in this.
No, I think it's the comic company.
It's just the comic companies trying to revive the comic portion.
yeah.
Because they need it. They need something.
For me, it would not suck if they got some of the independent books involved with, that have like a huge following of this character or this team, just to say, hey.
I don't think their pride would let them do that. I just don't think so.
Probably
Hell,
not.
I think the only reason why they're doing it, period, is because comic sales are going into the toilet, and you need an event. You need something to get people to read the stuff.
Yeah. You need fresh blood to, revitalize both Marvel or
You ain't gonna
DC.
get fresh
But
blood.
you ain't gonna-
You gonna get you a gimmick.
Yeah.
That's the
It
only.
may be a better gimmick than usual.
Yeah, and that's really all I'm saying.
But even if they reboot, even if DC reboots again or Marvel does some big reboot, it's the same creators that have run it into the toilet still doing the creating.
Yeah.
They need to clear those guys out and get somebody new in.
And that was the kind of thing me and Jason were talking one time, and I was like, man, I wish they would reboot this universe. And then he hit me with that. It was like, yeah, but it'd be the same creators. And then you go, yeah. Hell, if they could basically discount all continuity, God knows what kind of shitstorm they create. It likely wouldn't be worth a damn. So, like I said, this was just one. This is out of their list of gimmicks. This was the first time they did a gimmick that I went, I will pay attention to that. Still not going to buy the book, but I will pay attention to it.
I will at least read the cliff notes on it.
I will read this book for free someplace and see if it was any damn good. But you have piqued my interest. Because normally it's just like, okay.
It's a day that ends in Y.
The opinions expressed here are the opinions of the individual expressed there, but not necessarily in the opinions of the Nerdturnal Network as a whole. Yeah, I had to do that on the stream the other day. Somebody mentioned, I just downloaded off the Trove. Ixnay. Pirate Pay.
Ain't illegal. Ain't illegal.
Pretty sure it is. It's just that, last I knew the Trove was hosted in Uzbekistan where they don't care.
Yeah, that's Uzbekistan law.
And in my defense, I could easily go into the local comic book shop, read shit, walk out.
That's fair. I mean, they could throw you out if you try to do that to a lot of books, but...
One book.
I'm walking. Hey, Monty, can I read a Secret Crisis? He goes, keep it a secret, but yes. I go, hey, and he go, hey, are you coming to draft? I'm coming to draft.
He'll let you do that because you're buying a bunch of magic cards for him, so he knows he's still getting his money.
He knows exactly what I'm coming there for and exactly how much to pay.
See, it'd be great. Can I read this? Yeah, but keep it a secret.
I walked in there and tried that. You don't know me from a can of paint because I've been in his store like 3 times in life. Then it's who the F are you.
That's when you go.
Trick is, I know where he worked his last job, so I can fake that I knew it.
Or you go, my name's Steve.
Back when Kroger had a Blockbuster in it, he worked at Blockbuster prior to buying that shop. So.
Gotcha.
I was at the Madison store at the time, but he don't know that.
Don't give him free advertising. He ain't paying.
I did not name the shop.
Good. But anyway,
The most generic comic book shop name you could ever think of.
A comic shop.
Anyway.
what part of it? motherfucker ain't paying us, ain't you getting?
We didn't say the name.
It's okay. Nobody's watching.
But if you are watching, leave us a message in the comments.
Burn it hell.
That'll work too.
But anyway, I think you got a shot at something
Interesting.
interesting.
It's got the potential to be neat.
And truthfully, if you're following the DC half of it, the Marvel half is literally like a comic. The DC part is going through miniseries. Because they've got their big bad Perpetua is one of those multiversal destroying something that was behind the source wall and all that. So they've got miniseries after miniseries after book
That
series
she's
after
touching.
yeah. She's turning Lex Luthor into something unnatural. And it's a big battle between the Justice League and the Legion of Doom and all that kind of stuff. So they've got 3 or 4 series that all kind of
Yeah, because the Dr. Manhattan stuff factors into it some kind of way.
yeah.
DC's like, all right, we're putting this in, we're putting that in, we're putting that in. Marvel, what are you putting in this stew? You can have
Character.
Thor.
Maybe Hulk.
You can
There's
have
been a reference to Hulk.
Yeah,
Yeah.
there's been a reference to Hulk. There was a reference to
Thor they called by name in the DC book because you can't copyright Thor.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
North God.
and Hulk is heavily hinted at. Yeah. He's gonna die for this. Yeah, the character's immortal.
Yeah.
It ain't even a sacrifice.
It's a mild inconvenience.
But see, their side don't know that. They'll die like, oh my gosh, and then he will slowly crawl out of frame.
Next time the sun goes down, don't tell nobody.
What the hell happened to you?
Don't tell nobody. I want to see that build statues of me.
Hey, see, talking about Immortal Hulk,
I've
I
seen
wish-
how many statues they like to build in this world of people. They will build me 3 at least.
when I was reading something and you had the Hulk going on, and now he's Immortal Hulk, I thought to myself, wow, if they just had Immortal Hulk during that last Avengers movie, Black Widow wouldn't have had to die. Sunrise. Okay, I'm back.
No, you still that. That was kind of the point to that. You had to sacrifice something.
And even the Immortal Hulk's, the way his immortality works, I don't think he could screw with the soul gem.
No.
That's true.
It would take your soul and hold it.
Well, see, you would pull a Hulk and the battery would get up and go, huh.
Or vice versa.
Or you'd
Yeah.
end up with a soulless Hulk running around, which don't sound like that.
Which you've had for the Mind
Yeah,
Soul.
yeah, that ain't something you miss. It won't run around.
Banner is at least a somewhat tempering influence.
Yep.
I mean, the Immortal Hulk is rough, but he's not random destruction.
No, he's
very much-
directed.
He's focused destruction.
You know, but you tend to have to screw with him. Or have screwed with him at some point.
He's devil. That devil Hulk that Peter David came up with, like back in the 90s.
Mm.
Yeah, it's him. And he's screwed up. You know, he's not Maestro level evil. He's not even Doc Green level evil yet. But it's kind of in the background. It's like, because
He's definitely amoral.
oh, he's immoral as hell. But you had an issue a few months ago, because that's the trick, is DC restarts their universes all the time, and if you look at the current run of Thor, if you look at Immortal Hulk a few months ago, Marvel is kind of building toward a universe ending something too. You had a story, History of the Marvel Universe that came out. That was Franklin Richards and Galactus at the end of time, and that's how they tell the history of the Marvel Universe. Is they're just going over it because it's all getting ready to wrap up. You had an issue of Immortal Hulk where you get to see the universe is gone. Franklin Richards was supposed to be there, because if you read history of, Galactus is going, and you get the impression that Franklin's going to be the new Galactus of the next universe. But Banner shows up, an emaciated Banner, and you have the Metatron show up that's supposed to bestow this power to the next Galactus. Banner morphs out and eats him. And you have, because Immortal can do some fairly hideous. He doesn't always look cohesive. Sometimes he's a whole bunch of miles and kind of
Nightmarish.
yeah.
Very Cthulhu-esque.
He can be very Cronenberg when he wants to. Well, he kind of Cronenberg's out, eats Metatron, then you give it another couple of months, and you see this new universe where it's he's bigger than Galactus. Big, huge, glowing-eyed Hulk that's there. He's the world breaker. You know, they take that from the World War Hulk run, and yeah, he don't eat planets, he smashes them. Yeah, it's kind of, oh shit, it's done. So you got that kind of going too. I found it interesting that in Doomsday Clock they mentioned Hulk, because it's like, kind of seen what, kind of where he's going. It ain't the best idea in the world either.
The trick is, nothing good would come from Marvel rebooting. Because you've seen what this current crop of writers does when they reboot Marvel. You get something like the Ultimates where there are no heroes.
Yeah. Well, it would probably be like I said earlier, it'd be the death knell likely of Marvel Comics, because you would get something they would double down on the crap that they're doing that screwed up the readership in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
So if they could do that carte blanche with no ties to the past, yeah, it'd be hot garbage.
And everybody that's hung on would basically be in a position to go, oh, well, now it's not even the character, you know.
Yeah.
I was hanging on for my love of the character, now it's not even that same character anymore.
Yeah,
So.
yeah, I'm completely done. But I can see that's at least where
It could go.
Yeah, playing What If-ery. Yeah, What If-ery, it's looking like that's the way they want it. So you'll have a brand new DC universe, a brand new Marvel universe.
Or maybe, Warner Brothers has secretly sold DC to Disney.
That would be fun.
Yeah, because I've always wanted to see those characters interact on a regular basis without some big to-do.
If you had a blended universe, that would be something else that I would go, that's interesting. It would probably, again, be a train wreck, but I would at least go, they would have me for 6 months. Or so until it just crapped the hell out. Because I know DC is on shaky grounds with AT&T. Because, like I said, the books aren't making money. Where...
And their movies aren't making the kind of money Marvel is.
No.
I mean, I say that. Aquaman made $1 billion. Wonder Woman made...
800 something.
They've had more successes lately than flops.
And then you had Joker.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
It still counts. You know, I think it's the most profitable movie.
Does AT&T own Warner Brothers?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
AT&T owns Warner Brothers and DC, and that was one of the things a few months ago. There was a lot of rumor that AT&T was kind of coming along going, things ain't making us money, go. And DC is like, because it's shaky. It's pretty much all Batman all the time. That's what sells for them, is Batman. And
He's Wolverine from the 90s.
pretty much. Except Marvel didn't bank all their stock on Wolverine. He was everywhere.
Well, you were going through a comic book boom at the time, so
Yeah, he was everywhere, but it was not,
things were looking up for the industry a little bit at that time before the bust. So.
It wasn't Wolverine, it was Amazing Friends every 27 books.
Well, it was. The trick was the company was not dependent on Wolverine selling.
Yeah.
DC is dependent on Batman selling because that's all they got. He's got to be in 27 different books because that's all anybody cares about. He's got to be something Batman fan. Wolverine, was just, they've had several of those since then. Deadpool is the current. Let's do Deadpool. Everything. Before him, there was Venom. Let's do Venom. Everything. Hell, the Larson run of Spider-Man Venom was in it literally every month.
I didn't even read Spider-Man in the 90s, and I was sick of him.
I was reading it, and it got to me where it was like, good God. Because he'd do something, he'd get busted. The next issue, he'd be in it, busting out of jail, and then he'd go do something. And it was like, Jesus Christ, this... Hell, you can let me write this shit. What happens 2.5 months from now? Well, what's he do? Is he out? No, he get well. 2 months from now, he'll bust out next month, and then the next month he'll do something. I mean, it was literally, that was back in the days when they would put like the characters that were in that issue up across the top of the cover. Yeah, you can go back and go Venom, Venom, Venom. Oh, Venom's on the cover. Venom, Venom. But yeah. Anyway, I think they got something interesting going. I'm curious to see where it goes. I'm curious to see what comes out of it, you know, on the back end. I'll be curious to see if any of the shit is readable. Yeah.
Now, it would be fun if they're just trolling us. If it was just a couple of the creators put their heads together and, you know.
Let's see if we
And
can get some
then, April
sales.
1st, they will announce what's about that nothing's actually happening.
Hell, they could do that. Hell, they could do a crossover, and hell, it ends with a black thing, and hell, it's all canceled. Oh, yeah. We both got shit canned. It's all over. Watch that book spike in value. God damn, I got it. I got the last issue of all this shit.
We planned this Hail Mary, and we got sacked 20 yards back when we were trying it. Sorry, fellas. We out. See y'all on the independent scene. We got Patreons up.
We still got the movies. We're fine.
That's where they put all their eggs.
That's where they're making all the money.
Where do you make the money?
Yo, Kathleen, you ready to do some Marvel movies? She goes, but I don't have anything to base it off of.
Don't speak that horror into existence. Just don't.
Marvel's looking that way.
Yeah,
without her.
yeah. Feige's gonna do that anyway, but you know. No. Just no.
Now,
Galactus is female. Shut up!
talking about all these crossovers, one thing that would be interesting, since you have a Marvel channel and a DC channel, is if, without announcing it, you just had the same episode posted on both. You're like, oh my god, you know, that would be.
Yeah, but you could. You literally could. Every damn thing on Marvel. Well, DC's got new content. Disney Plus don't.
Well, see, that's what I'm saying. They film it, they keep it quiet, and then, oh, here you go. Or it's a cartoon that they've done, and oh, here you go.
They do a mixed miniseries that releases on both of them at the same time.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking
No!
You have.
Wait, what am I thinking? I know these companies. DC would get episode 1. Marvel would get episode 2.
about. Yeah.
You'd have to get both streaming services.
I was watching Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and damn, it's the Flash didn't pop up. Which one? The one from TV or one from the movie? Yeah, who cares?
It's a red streak, like I cared.
No,
The trick is the way the companies are with publishing the books these days. One of them would get 1, and then one of them would get 3, and then the other one would finally put 2 up.
Yep.
Because they have a hard time getting some of their books out on time these days.
That's
Used to, the book was out when it was supposed to be out. If they had to swap writers or artists at the last minute, they got it out. It was the kind of thing that would get you canned from them.
Oh,
Now they can widely disrespect you.
Well, that's when you actually had an editor-in-chief that, you know, stayed on top of people and said, hey.
I think that's what you're missing these days. I
Yeah.
think you need one of the old school editors in chief to sit there and hit them with the rolled up newspaper. No.
But I want to have hope. No.
Read the crap you're writing.
But see, then all the other writers go, well, I'm fucking Bendis. You know what? I'm gonna go do Superman again. See ya.
I was so glad to hear Bendis was going to DC.
Yeah, truthfully.
Oh, good. He can go
Business going to
mess up the
DC.
universe
Oh,
story.
yay!
Yeah, but I mean, just like, there's enough old tenured writers
I
and
was
the
mocking
other.
the crap out of Bendis at the last Esper Genesis stream. Because we kept digressing, talking about our next campaign. Talking about the fact that we're getting so excited about the next story that we're not concentrating on wrapping this one up. Pulling a Michael Bendis.
Yep. Ooh, I just got an idea for this cool new story. Well, what about the shit you write? What? That's old shit.
That firefighter's tackle cap and he gives up. It's fine.
My God, we're doing. What was it after that one?
Was it Dark Rain?
Dark Rain, yeah.
Yeah, when
Dude,
Civil War
I'm-
Dark Rain Secret Invasion.
Dude, I'm so excited about Dark Rain. Yeah, but Secret War. Hey, he gets tackled by some nobody. That's really how you gonna end it? Yeah, it'd be fine.
Is Bendis involved in this crossover?
He writes Superman. He could. His effect will be minimal. Like I said, like he was saying, he'll get bored.
Yeah.
oh man, it'd be so cool. We'll have Superman fight Thor, and we're going to do this. Really? Thor's hammer breaks, he says, the hell with it, go have tea. This is my new thing.
Shiny object.
They go to the artist guy, make a fake copy where that happens, and hand it to Bendis. We'll get the real shit in on our end.
Yeah, then you book like,
Quite possibly.
you end up like Doomsday Clock. Doomsday Clock was supposed to be like a 12-issue run, and you could literally do one of them things 6 months later.
Yeah.
1 year later. Oh! I finally got the issue. I did 2 years ago when this first one came out. Yeah.
It's not as bad as Straczynski's Rising Stars.
That's true. You gotta do some shit to touch him.
Yeah. It's a good story once you finally get it all. But when you got those last issue or twos, you didn't remember what had happened. It was supposed to be a 1 year miniseries, and it took 3 or 4 years to get all of it.
3.5.
Yeah, 3.5.
To get the 24 issues, or to get the 12 issues out.
Yeah. Yeah, it was one of those, by the time you got the next issue of that, you like, I didn't care anymore.
I know a guy on Facebook that he was collecting that, and he said he just would buy those issues and stick them to the side. He said when it finally ended, he sat down and reread the first 2 issues and then the rest of them. That way he knew what the heck was going on. And he said,
I never got the individual issues. I wound up years later getting
Get the
trades.
trade. Yeah.
My sister had gotten me a like a gift card from the comic shop that was not supposed to call my name, and it was just one of the things I grabbed while I was in there. It was like it was the second trade because it I want to say where it started. I kind of remembered up to where it started, so I at least got the end of the story.
I don't think I ever got the end of it. I think by the time they start up again, I was literally to the point where it was like, it's interesting, but it's indie stuff for me, and I'm a Marvel zombie, so
Yeah.
I'm hanging on by my fingernails anyway. And by the time they go, well, there's nothing coming out, and then you got years, I was like, hell with it, I don't care anymore.
Yeah.
I kind of went.
Well, like I said, I had a gift card to burn. Oh, I never did get the end of that story.
I was kind of like, wow, Straczynski is better TV.
He's never been able. His Spider-Man run was decent, but he's never really been able to pace himself in comics.
His Thor run was good when something actually happened. When the Thor versus Iron Man, when his grandfather shows up, when they basically Loki's plot, all that kind of stuff is mad interesting. But it was 6 months in between.
Yeah, you have all these nothing issues.
Yeah.
It's like he didn't realize it was an action genre he was dealing with.
Yeah. When you had something happen, it was great. And
His
then
Superman
you would go-
run ran me off from the book. Well, Superman's just going to walk across the country.
I was about to
Yeah,
ask.
Superman's just going to let this girl commit suicide if she wants to.
Oh, that's where that comes from.
Yeah.
That was his run. Yeah. Not going to save.
And he's been mocked. Other writers have mocked him for
yeah,
it.
in the Deadpool books, they mock because, Deadpool goes up and deals with the same kind of situation and ends up taking the girl to the hospital at the end. I thought we were going to such and such. This is where you need to go, dear. And it's like,
Well, yeah,
Wow.
he drug her through some adventures.
but
I forget which villain it was. She wound up groin kicking.
Well, the trick is, if you want to kill yourself, I'll drag you along to my fight between me and Juggernaut, the Brotherhood of Evil, or some shit.
I just like the fact that
Pretty sure
he's
you
about to
would.
come off his building. He's kind of like, hey, I live here. Parker Industries is just right down the road.
yeah.
It's taller.
But by the end of it, he tells her, yeah, we'll go do such and such, so and so. And then when they get there, it's the hospital. She's like, you lied to me. Honey, you need some help. They can help you, I'm crazy.
That's bad when the insane,
Yeah.
murderous Merc basically goes, yeah. While the big blue Boy Scout goes, do what you want. It was the Man of Steel. It was the Snyder Superman. It had to have been.
The next rider came in and immediately just kind of went, super people from the future or other dimensions or something show up. Somebody's messing with your head. Oh, thank God.
Snyder Superman don't give a fuck. Pa Kent told him sometimes you gotta let a motherfucker die. And got sucked up into a
I was about to say,
tornado
Pa Kent
to prove
was-
his point.
Pa Kent was scummy, but he was a man of principle. He was a man that stuck to his principles.
Don't save me. I'm just gonna suck up into this tornado.
Okay, I think we've milked these 4 pages for about all we're going.
That's true. But hell, we've got a pretty good show out of nothing.
Yep.
Yes!
We probably got more out of that 4 pages of nothing than they will out of 12 issues of it.
Probably. So anyway, that's been our show, Secret Crisis. We had nothing, but we made something of it. Go us.
Yay!
We can only hope the companies can do as well.
They wish. Anyway, I've been your host for this show. I am the Todd Father, and join me as always.
CDO 113.
The experience of some call Jason.
The token does have both my arms, Starkey. Thor does now, too. Didn't before.
Okay, I was wondering where you were going. I'm like,
Yeah, he kind of segued in.
Works for me.
peace.